Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is week 5 of a trading watch list. This watch list will be applicable for July 31st to August 4. So this is the next 5-day period. Today we are going to talk about the upcoming events. What are the different earnings that are happening next week? Is going to be a jam-packed earnings week as well. Then I'm going to talk about the trade results that we took from last week, which you can also find right over here on the trading setup for July 24 to 28. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and add this watch list in your favorites. Then I'm also going to share a couple more trade ideas for the upcoming week because there are just so many opportunities out there. And if you end up enjoying today's video, make sure you give us a like and share with your friends and family so more people can get these ideas and take advantage of some of these great setups that we have for the upcoming week. So without further ado, let's dive in. Alright, let's kick this off with our recap from the last week. For S&P 500, we see Microsoft was down almost 3% for the week. Google had great earnings. It was up almost 10%. Meta also led the way with 6.87%. Apple was pretty flat, about 0.89%. One of the reasons was that Apple is already at its one all-time high and they are going to report earnings this week. Finance, which led the way previously, was pretty flat. In the retail sector, Amazon was pretty flat for the week as well, with Walmart being up 1.2%. Home Depot led the way with over 3.2%. In the consumer durables, you have Tesla, which was kind of sort of flat for the week as well. It was down 0.58%. And a lot of the companies from the S&P 500 will be reporting earnings this week as well. So it's a jam-packed schedule. Kick off the Monday before open with SOFI. You have Arista Networks. That is the artificial intelligence play. If you have not seen my video, go back and check it out. I'll also put the link over here. On Tuesday, we have Uber, we have Caterpillar, some of the big names. You have Altria, you have JetBlue, Merck, all in the dividend space. After close, the big one, AMD, Pinterest. Wednesday kicks off with a couple of healthcare in CVS, Humana. And then after close, we have PayPal, Shopify, Qualcomm, Oxy, Unity, Robinhood, Etsy. Just a lot of companies on Wednesday, very packed. Then the big one on Thursday, Apple, Amazon. All eyes will be on that. Coinbase, Block, Airbnb, DraftKings, Cloudflare, a lot of good companies right there. On Friday, we have a couple of electric vehicles. You have Fisker. A lot of folks are going to be waiting on it. Also, Magna reports earnings. So if you know, Fisker actually outsources its construction of vehicles to Magna. So very important to watch out. You have Nikola Fubo as well. Those are a couple of meme stocks that a lot of folks used to trade back in the day. Before we get into the recap of our last week's trade result, I have this newsletter that you can sign up. This newsletter, I go into much more in depth on why the trade I took, what was the setup, what was the reason behind that setup, what are my expectations from the trade. I talk about the trade result, my thought process behind each action that I took. The link to the newsletter will be in the description. Last week, I talked about 3 trade ideas, Tesla, Intel, and Google. I'll start off with the easy one. I was not able to get into the Google trade, unfortunately. If you have been following the channel or if you have been following the latest watch list from a couple weeks, you know we opened a cash secured put on Tesla back on July 18, expiration July 21. We got $243 as a premium. It got assigned to us at $265. This week, we opened a covered call. We got $479 on that. So far, we have earned $722 for the last 2 weeks. We still hold the 100 shares. So next week, we are going to repeat the process. We'll open another covered call. If you want to know when I open a covered call on Tesla, make sure you follow me on Twitter. The second trade was Intel, which we also took a day before the Intel reported earnings. Intel reported a beat on EPS and revenue, and that was a surprise. And that was the reason the stock was up over 8% after hours. Idea was to open a 33 put, expiration 728. The delta would be about 34, and we would get a premium of 75 cents. I initiated the trade on 727 before the earning was reported, and that is the reason instead of getting a 75 cents, I got 60 cents. However, I wanted to be extra sure before getting into the trade. Since Intel had a major earnings beat, there was a major IV crush. It dropped to 7% from about 33%. This put expired worthless. We got about $118. We opened 2 contracts, and this was also a successful trade from last week. All right, the first trade idea for next week is going to be one of my favorite stocks, which is SOFI Technologies, ticker symbol SOFI. SOFI has been on an absolute tear. Year to date, the stock is up over 112%. Consensus EPS estimate of about negative $0.7 cents. Also, the revenue estimate is about $475.78 million, which is going to be above the 33% year-over-year growth. SoFi is getting towards the profitability, at least from a non-GAAP perspective. This is what you want to see in a growth company. Now, unfortunately, I cannot open any options trade because I missed it on Friday. I didn't open any cash secured put, so that will not work. So the only thing that we can do is we wait for SoFi to report earnings before the market opens on Monday. When SoFi reports earnings, 12.6% to 15.8%. That is the average move plus minus, which basically equates to about $1.20 and $1.51. So let's look at the last 4 earnings and see how the price has moved. So this earning was 5/10/2022. The stock was trading at $6.25, and after the earning, the stock closed at $5.80. So this was about less than $1 right here. Next earning, we had this major gap up right here. So the stock was trading around the $6.39, and the stock, after reporting great earnings, it was above $8.24. So this was beyond the average move. The next earning was right around here. The stock closed at $5.57, had a big gap up to $6.43, $6.46, about $1 or so. And then the last earning, we had this again big gap up right before the earnings. The stock was trading at the $5.92, and then the stock closed around $6.66 on the post earning day. Once the SoFi reports strong earnings, we could see the stock either up or down $1.20 to $1.50. So in that case, if I am going to be opening a cash secured put, currently the stock is at $9.55. At 8, we have almost 51,000 contracts, and the delta is about 15.9. So that seems like it will be expired worthless 100%. However, you're only getting about 18 cents. So if you want to gain a little bit more, you can risk at about $9. However, $9, you have about delta of 32. So this could expire in the money at the end of the week, and you have about 12,322 contracts. This is a retail driven stock, so there is a lot of call options open on SoFi most of the time. So the put to call ratio is very positive for SoFi most of the times. So keep that in mind as you trade SoFi next week. The next trade idea will be on Cloudflare, ticker symbol NET. They are also going to be reporting earnings next week. The stock is up 56% year to date. That's a very major jump, and what is now happening is a lot of people are talking about the valuation of the company is getting on the higher side. Now for the upcoming earnings, EPS will be 0.07. They had 0.08, which was a beat by 5 cents, and they are going to be bringing revenue of $305 million. That's the estimate. They brought about $290 last time. Keep that in mind that they missed on the revenue side, and that was the only miss they have had in the revenue since they have started reporting in 2019, and they missed the first time when they reported earnings. They missed the EPS as well. Also, in one of the news that Microsoft is slowly entering into the security space, and that is a direct threat to Palo Alto, Zscaler, and Cloudflare. So this trade setup that we are looking at, the stock price closed above its 20-day moving average, and the 50-day moving average is on the upswing. The RSI is at only 51. The average volume has slowly declined to 2.95. This is not a heavily traded options play. On the MACD side, we are also seeing a little bit of the downward signal. So with those indicators out of the way, one of the things that you really need to know that every time they report earning, you can see these major drops. That's one right here. The second one, you did not see any major gap ups. It was pretty flat here. In this one, we had the small drop, but you can notice once they report earnings, there is a massive swing. You can see in this earning, a lot of volume, and boom, see this big gap up right here. And then this was even amazing. You see this gap up down here around the earnings. So be very careful. The stock can drop. Now the expected move of this stock could be anywhere between $6.90 to $8.17. So if I want to be extra safe in opening a cash secured put on this one, I would be targeting somewhere around 59.11 on the fib level, which still gives me about a $7-8 drop on the stock price, which kind of aligns with the expected. Now, if we have a drop which is bigger than the expected move, the average expected move, then of course I will be in a loss. But if I take a look at $59 strike price, that I will get about $1.31 on it, and the delta on 131 would be somewhere around, I think, the 19%. Yes, it's a 19%. You only have 400. There's a lot more interest at $60, about 650 open interest. In that case, you will get about 156. But I would rather take that $100 less chance. So that is what I'm going to be targeting at $59 because that fits very nicely on our fib levels. As you can see, it has bounced off it many times, and we had this big gap up, and since then it has maintained. So that was my second trade idea for the upcoming week. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel where I will be giving you all the trade watch lists. Subscribe to the Twitter where you can get the latest trade alerts. And lastly, to understand the thought process behind each trade in a much more detailed fashion, make sure you subscribe to the newsletter as well. Trade safely, and I will see you next time, investor family. But don't forget to invest for tomorrow.